Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to turn up my volume. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
same. Hold on. Let me turn mine up.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's not an echo. Hey!
Oh yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. I'm excited. I mean, it's a crazy week right now, so I'm super excited about everything that's going on. So
Yeah, well, it seems like you've been busy during quarantine, right?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not really quarantine anymore because of Blackish and all that stuff. So I'm still
Right.
kind of going in and out of working. But I mean, just everything else is super exciting. So I'm excited about everything that's going on. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that's going on. I was just telling everybody it's going to be the 7th season premiere on October 21st.
Yes.
I mean, Blackish has been, I would say I hear a lot of people saying it's like the modern day Cosby Show, right?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's crazy for people to even say that because I mean, when we started the show, that's kind of always like a goal that we've had to even be in that type of conversation when it comes to television. But for us to even be in that conversation is amazing. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So the thing that I think that sets you guys apart from the Cosby Show is you guys go really deep with topics. You
Right.
guys really get in there. Has there ever been a topic that on the show that you guys discuss and you learned a little bit more about it?
I mean, it was a lot of stuff from season one, probably like with when it comes to the Hope episode or Lemons, like when we talk about the election and police brutality. There's a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the the first season, especially. That I mean, I was like 9. I was like 9 at the time, so I didn't really understand too much of what was going on. And I'm glad that the show kind of educated me a little more than if a normal 9-year-old would understand, obviously, what's going on. So I'm glad I kind of got a head start with that type of stuff. And it kind of like gave a segue for me to learn more about it later when I grew up more. So I'm kind of glad for that. So there was stuff even along the way from not just season one but the other seasons too, that I've learned a lot from. I mean, because I'm so young, so it's like I'm glad I was able to learn all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it too because sometimes not only is it educating the young, but maybe the old or somebody in between. One of the things too with the show, you're working alongside like Tracy Ellis Ross, Anthony Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne, who I've interviewed, and Jennifer Lawrence. So talk to me about like what have they kind of helped you maybe improve as an actor?
I mean, just them me even being in their presence as an actor is just like is inspiring, to be honest. Like when I first got on the show, I was just so starstruck, even just being able to be with Tracy, Anthony, Lawrence, Jennifer. I mean, Tracy obviously is Diana Ross's daughter, so like that's a huge inspiration for me just as a dancer. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm working with her daughter and she's an amazing actress. So it's like that's super starstruck for me. Anthony, obviously, every like movie he's done, I've watched. Lawrence, obviously, legend. Obviously, Jennifer's a legend. So it's like every single person nowadays. I mean, it's just Anthony and just Tracy and Jennifer and Lawrence now. But like when we first started working together, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to step up my game because these people are like living legends. So I'm excited. I was super excited to be working with them.
Yeah, I mean, you're stepping up your game. What I found is amazing is you started in this industry at 4 years old dancing.
Yeah.
So you could teach me all the dances, Miles?
I mean, for me to even think about me dancing at 4 years old, which is like crazy, that's kind of like, I feel like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be where I'm at because of all the opportunities I've had from dancing that kind of led to this spot. I don't know, it just inspired me to want to perform and to want to, be in front of a crowd or just entertain in general. So I'm glad I was able to start dancing, or my dad or my parents were able to teach me that type of stuff when I was super young. So I'm glad for that.
Yeah, I saw that your dad is in the industry, so you were able to kind of be exposed to a lot of things.
Right.
Do you think that like I was going to ask you, did you think that helped you kind of get acclimated? I mean, but you said you were still starstruck seeing like Tracy Ellis Ross and all these other.
For sure. I mean, me, like the way my dad, raised me, I guess, like I've always kind of been around that type of industry because he's in the music industry. So it's like for me to even be dancing or just entertaining in general, I've always kind of been in that like family of like people that I've seen once in a while doing certain things. Even though it still started like kind of made me super excited to meet them, it was kind of a thing that happened all the time. So it was like, even though it happened a lot, I was still super starstruck to meet people anytime I've, you know, seen people when it comes to the industry, whatever it would be. So yeah.
For sure. So let's talk about like your projection, because you've done some major milestones. You've danced, you know, been acting, you had your a movie, you know, come out not too long ago. So all those milestones, all those different things that you've gotten to already like experience at such a young age, what's the one that like you would definitely choose for the rest of your life?
That I've already done, you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like everything that I've done has kind of just led up to where I'm at, so it's hard to pick, like, if I can only just stick with one. I don't know. I mean, for me, dancing, you know, traveling the world just off of dancing, that's like one of the biggest accomplishments for me. Just not even like anything I could have won, just like being able to go to Hong Kong and Russia and Germany and so many other places just off of dancing when I was, you know, super young. That's just crazy for me. I mean, acting wise, I don't know. Blackish is something you can't ignore. Obviously, it's like it's super important, not just for me, but just for the television industry in general. So, I probably would have to go with that, if not dancing, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Well, now one of the things that you're doing, you're rapping.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so you've been, but okay, here's the thing, Miles. I just looked at you, and when I said you're rapping, your face lit up. So I feel like you know, maybe internally, like I don't know, you have some excitement there.
For me, I've always been I've always been trying to do music off of just my dad, you know, him teaching me that type of stuff. So it's like I've always been with that stuff. And I never really put it out to the public, if that makes sense. And I mean, just like me starting to get into that, all that type of stuff is super exciting for me because I always wanted to do it. You know, when it comes to my album or music in general, it's something I've always wanted to do, literally since I was like 4 or 5. So, but now that I'm finally getting to it, it's kind of really exciting for me to even talk about it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, whatever it is, I mean, I've always wanted to be a person to do a lot of different things. And that's kind of one of the extra things I always wanted to tap into, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So someone just said, "Wait, you rap?" Yes, he raps.
Oh yeah, We the Future on Friday.
Yeah. So We the Future on Friday, and here's the deal. You know, I'm pretty sure through the help of your dad, but you had Mac? No, that's wrong. I'm looking at who you've danced with, but on the album you have Slick Rick, Affion Crockett. He raps.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was always like jokingly, but not like a serious rapper.
I mean, he is. I mean, I've known him personally through dance, through music, through. I mean, obviously people know him through, you know, comedy and stuff, but he's like me, kind of. He wants to do a bunch of different awesome stuff when it comes to dancing. I've known him personally. He was in a group called the Groovaloos. He was actually in a dance group. So like, for me, I've known him through many different things. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So why? Because I mean, these gentlemen, I would say, as far as age group, is a little out of your age group. So why these guys? And why not someone like, you know?
I mean, hold on. I think it might have. Okay, I bring it. I don't even think it has anything to do with my age group. I think it's just because of how they've inspired me when I've, you know, started doing certain things. And the fact that I'm able to have those connections with them, even though they've inspired me. I mean, who wouldn't want to do music with someone that's inspired them their whole, I could say, career, even though I don't really see it like that. But, I mean, for me, those people have always been inspired me and wanted to do what I've wanted to do. And it's kind of like a no-brainer for me to start doing stuff like that. I mean, I've always wanted to do stuff with my own, you know, generation. That's kind of what the whole album is about. But, I mean, for me to even have the opportunity to make music with certain people like that, that's like one of my biggest honors for me. So, yeah.
So for those that don't know about like what you rap, what is like the message on the album?
Well, I mean, the message, I mean, it kind of goes through the title itself, We the Future. It's basically just a message to the youth. I know a lot of people that follow me are younger, and I know that I kind of have a platform where I can talk to people that are around my age, and I could say I can say that I feel like just me being able to have that platform and speak up. I know there's so much that's going on right now, and
Mhm.
I mean it's been I've had this idea for such a long time. So just whatever's going on, I already know that the youth have always had the biggest voice in what goes on. If it's even me or years from now, it's the youth whenever that time comes. I already know that they always have the biggest platform to speak up on certain things. So that's kind of my biggest point going on, because with so much things that are happening, I know that I don't want the youth to kind of sit back and watch things, fold for themselves when they can be the biggest response to certain things that are going on. So, and I just want to be able to inspire kids, or just let kids know that you don't have to be put in a box, if that makes sense. When it comes to, acting, music, dancing, whatever it is. And I kind of want to have that voice for certain people.
Yeah, and that message also, goes to any age, because sometimes I've gotten put in a box. You know what I mean? But I noticed that you've always been
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
vocal about the motto you live by: dream big, inspire many. So, how do you feel
Yeah.
your upcoming album represents that?
Um, I mean, I've always had that motto, if that makes sense, really since I was young, since I started Blackish. Dream Big, Inspire Many, that's one of the titles on the song, or on the album, actually. And I feel like I've always went by that because it speaks for itself almost. Dream big, and you can inspire others to kind of do the same. And I feel like for me and my dad kind of came up with that. I feel like I've always wanted to dream big so I can inspire other kids to inspire others that are down the road, and the bigger they dream, the more people they can inspire to do the same. And it doesn't really matter what you've done or what you can do, if that makes sense, as long as you dream big to knowing that you have the chance to do certain things. And I feel like just you dreaming can inspire other people to want to accomplish their dreams, if that makes sense. So yeah.
For sure. So I want to ask a few questions, or I'm going to ask you a few questions because I know we're limited on time. And
Yeah.
then I have a couple questions from the fans that I'm going to take. Just a
Got it.
few, but let's talk about you also being the youngest ambassador on the Junior NBA, and what are you
Oh
doing
yeah.
with them?
Well, the shout out to the Junior NBA. The Junior NBA is awesome. They have teamed up with the NBA and the WNBA, and what they've done is they've always helped kids with clinics, and teaching kids, the proper way to play the game of basketball. I've always been a fan of basketball, so even for me not to even be a part of the Junior NBA, that's something that's kind of right up my alley when it comes to basketball. And for me, what I was able to do teaming up with them is I have the opportunity to go with NBA games, WNBA games, and kind of interview certain players, questions that I know the kids would want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been able to join clinics with them and go to NBA games, like finals games or whatnot, and interview players. And I've always wanted to interview them and ask them questions from my point of view. And I know points of view from a kid that's probably watching that, from home, that they would want to know. So no one else really does that. So I feel like that's something that I've always wanted to do with them. And I'm glad that they were able to give me the opportunity to, go to those games and show how, to show what, type of questions I can ask them. So yeah.
No, I'm so proud of you, like in a big sister way, because it's like seeing you young, 4 years old, and growing into a young man, and
Yeah.
you have all these things coming up, and you seem like you're really, down to earth. And
Yeah.
so, congratulations to you. But plug the album too before I ask these questions. When
Okay.
is it dropping, and where should they look for it at?
Oh yeah, October 16th, this Friday. We the Future, the album is dropping. Or not the single, but my video for Entourage, or one of the songs on the album, is also dropping. The merch is dropping. Everyone get your merch. My website is in my bio, so if you guys want to go get that, I'm super excited about it. There's so much I feel like that's happening this Friday. I mean, just in general, just the album, which I've always been excited for. I've been waiting to do this for almost like 2 years now, and I'm finally getting around to it. Someone asked a question. You said, "Do you feel any pressure being Miles Brown?" Not really, because I feel like just it's always fun doing what I want to do. And I feel like me already kind of having that platform from Blackish, I've always understood that I've had a chance to do things that if I put my mind to it. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to other people, that you guys can really just do whatever you guys want to do. Shout out to the dance community, you know, so they've kind of inspired me to be able to, you know, accomplish my dreams. And that's always something I wanted to do with others, you know, to kind of inspire them. So,
okay, yeah. Here's another question.
How did Miles get so far at a young age? I feel like I kind of started off already early, like when I was 4 or 5 years old, because I think the reason why specifically is because I already knew what I wanted to do because it was so fun, if that makes sense. And that's why I started dancing, because I always thought it was like a super fun thing to do. And it led for me to actually do it as a job. I mean, even though I never think of it as a job, I was able to, you know, make it into a job, if that makes sense. Shout out to my boy Red in the chat. I see my boy Red. But I mean, I've always wanted to team up with dancers that I've always seen that inspired me throughout the world, like the Twins. Some of you guys know them, other dancers from around the world that are super inspiring to others. And that's kind of how I started off. And then it kind of transitioned into acting and into music and to everything else. So, yeah.
All right, cool. We're getting through them.
Yeah.
Some of them is like, I can't, you know, it's not like a real question. You know what I'm saying? Wait, let me see. Let me find it. Here's something. This is good. This is from Curly Head Taylor. Yeah. What's some tips you can give acting?
I would say to always come about things in a fun way. If it doesn't even matter if it's acting, like whatever it is, I just feel like as long as you have fun doing it and you're not doing it for a certain reason and you actually love what you're doing, then just go ahead and try and do it. I mean, you always could go through agencies, through auditions for certain things. You never know what it can maybe, because everyone had a different route. Like for me, I never went about acting like just like this. If that meant, I went through dancing and through so much other stuff. So I just made sure I loved it and I actually had fun doing it. So whatever it is, just put your mind to it, if that makes sense.
So when you did Blackish when you started the first season, that was that something you wanted to do, or?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I loved it so much. I didn't even think that it would be going on for such a long time and have that so importance. I knew it would have importance, but I didn't know that it would resonate with so many people, if that makes sense. Because from my point of view, I just thought it was super fun to be hanging out with Anthony Anderson and just kind of telling these stories while on set, if that makes sense. And I mean, from all the way from 2014 to now, it's like it's been so crazy for me to even be a part of it. So yeah, I really thought it was like almost like a cameo. So I'm super super glad that it's been this long.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna take like maybe 2 more questions because I know you got to be a hard wrap up at 4:30.
No problem.
So let me see. Let me find a good one.
Would I be
This is a good one. Would you be a story writer?
Oh,
Your sound went out. There you go. You're back.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry, what was the question? I was trying to do something so I can get this all cleared out.
It was, would you be a story writer?
Oh, be a story writer. Well, there's plenty other things besides that I've always wanted to do coming soon. But I mean, being a writer is always something I wanted. Just telling stories in general when it comes to dancing, acting. So yeah, just stay tuned for a lot of surprises coming soon. So.
Okay, for sure. This is a good one. What was Blackish experience like for you, Miles? Did we kind of go over that a little bit?
Yeah. What was Blackish experience like for me? I mean, it's hard. I kind of explained it a little earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like just me starting it as a learning experience as being an actor, because Blackish was really one of the first things as an actor that I've really done. And for me to kind of just jump in into something so major with so many big actors, It was just like it was a really crazy. It was the craziest acting learning experience you could ever have, really. And the whole audition process was super fun and hilarious that I've always got to have with Anthony, and the whole crew. Being behind the scenes and the bloopers that happen on set, it's just super. It's such a natural thing. And the cast is just it's like a real family, if that makes sense. So every time I go on set, it's like I'm seeing my second family every day. So yeah.
That's fun. That sounds fun. Okay, so this is probably the last question.
Okay.
No Heart Dillion, if I'm saying that right. How do you feel about being so good at 2K?
2K community. I mean, gaming is always something I've loved. I mean, ever since being streaming on Twitch or whatnot, I just loved gaming.
It's paused. It'll be back.
Are we back?
Yep, you're back.
So, gaming is always something I've loved. Shout out to Ronnie. Shout out to everyone who works at 2K. And ever since I've kind of gotten to that whole community, I've loved it. And ever since then, I've always loved playing games. No matter if it's 2K, any other game, I love gaming. That's always something that's always another side of me that I've always loved. So yeah, a lot of my fans know that. So yeah.
Yeah, they're calling you a legend on here.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, I love playing the game in general. So yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, so again, people, do not forget to cop Miles's new album dropping. We the Future. There's merch. Mm-hmm. There's everything. You said Friday, right, Miles?
This Friday, everyone get the merch, get the album. New video for Entourage, which is on the album, is dropping on Friday as well. So be sure to watch that as well. So everything else, I'm super excited about. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Miles, for talking to me. And those who missed the earlier half of this interview, it will be on chicagonow.com as well as my YouTube at Nakia Nichelle, so you can check it there. Thank you so much, Miles. Good luck with everything.
Oh, yeah. I'll be
looking and streaming We the Future.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. Shout out to everyone that was on the album. Everyone supported all the features, everyone, producers, everybody. And yeah, I'm super excited about it to hear everyone's feedback and to listen to the album myself. So I'm super excited about it. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.